All right, guys, welcome. We're going to go ahead and get started. Good evening. My name is Olivia Stotts, and I serve as the University of Kentucky Student Government Association Elections Commissioner. And I'm really happy to welcome you all tonight to the 2024 presidential debate. This year, we have presidential candidate Avery Bailey and vice presidential candidate Jackson Baird. And then we have presidential candidate Maddie Duff. And vice presidential candidate Dalton Bertram. Our hope for tonight is that you get the chance to meet the candidates running for office, hear firsthand platforms of each of the candidates, and the vision they have for student government and for the University of Kentucky. Now that you've met our candidates, I would like to welcome our moderator for this evening's debate, the Dean of Students for the University of Kentucky, Dr. Tricia Clement Montgomery. Thank you so much for being here, and you can take it away.
Hello. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Olivia, for that wonderful introduction. And again, welcome all to the 2024 SGA presidential and vice presidential debate. As we start tonight, I would like to go over a couple of ground rules and logistics for the operations of tonight's debate. First, each ticket will be allowed to give an opening statement not exceeding 2 minutes. Each candidate will be given 2 minutes to answer each question. A timekeeper will be placed in the front row and will hold up a yellow sign when candidates have 30 seconds remaining, and a red sign when time has expired. Candidates will be allowed one rebuttal. Only one rebuttal per ticket shall be allowed per question. Timekeeping rules apply here as well. Our timekeeper will hold up a yellow sign when the candidates have 30 seconds remaining and a red sign when time has expired. Order of responses will alternate. Questions will only be asked by the moderator. And when there are 5 minutes remaining in the debate, the timekeeper will hold up a blue sign to indicate that it is time for closing statements. Last but not least, each ticket will be allowed to give a closing statement not exceeding 2 minutes. Now that we have gone over the ground rules for tonight's debate, let us begin with the opening statements, starting with Maddie and Dalton.
Perfect. Good evening, everyone. My name is Maddie Duff.
And my name is Dalton Bertram.
And we're running to be your next student body president and vice president. First, I want to say a huge thank you to everyone for being here tonight, those tuning in on live, and especially to Dr. Clement Montgomery for being our moderator, and everyone in SGA, especially Olivia. This event tonight would not be possible without you all.
The decision to run for these offices is not one that we made lightly, but one that we have pursued based on our histories of dedicated leadership and a shared bold vision for the future of UK. We are committed to leveraging SGA resources and fiercely advocating for students toward one simple goal: the best possible experience for every student inside and outside the classroom.
Our past leadership experiences, both of us having served as president of other organizations on campus, has prepared us to be effective leaders and to put our words into action as soon as we take office. We have met with organizations ranging in size from 7 to 300, with students inside and outside of UK SGA and with administrators to shape this campaign. We are so excited to be here tonight to answer your questions and tell you more of what Team Duff Bertram is all about.
Thank you so much. All right, Avery and Jackson.
Hi, everyone. First, we just want to thank you guys so much for coming out today. The work that SGA does plays such a vital role in the way that students are represented on this campus, and it is so encouraging to see so many members of the student body get invested in the work that shapes the student experience. I'm Avery Bailey, and I'm honored to be one of your candidates for student body president at this university. I'm a junior majoring in biology and neuroscience on the pre-med track, and I'm a member of the Honors College. On this campus, I serve as a CUSM Outreach Coordinator and Undergraduate Research and Teaching Assistant, and I'm a member of Alpha Chi Omega, Order of Omega, and the University Appeals Board. In SGA, I was a member of the Leadership Development Program, am a 2-time undergraduate at-large senator, and currently serve on the Senate Executive Committee as the chair of the Appropriations and Revenue Committee.
And my name's Jackson Baird, and I'm your candidate for student body vice president. my background is that I'm currently a senator for the Operations and Evaluations Committee, as well as I've also been a member of the Academic and Student Affairs Committee within SGA. I'm an agricultural, economics, and communications double major, and I'm hoping to attend law school here at the University of Kentucky. I also have served as the Kentucky State FFA Vice President, where I visit schools across the state and give leadership workshops to high schoolers.
When sitting down to brainstorm exactly what message we wanted to share through our campaign, we knew we wanted to emphasize 3 crucial aspects of student experience: belonging, integrity, and student welfare. With a combined 5 years of SGA experience between the two of us, we have seen the gaps that remain when it comes to providing for students across this university and have built a campaign that we believe encompasses an equitable college environment and experience for every student.
And we want to do this by focusing on 3 main pillars. Our 3 main pillars are communication and transparency. We want to be honest and open about what is going on in the SGA office and get as many people involved as possible. We also want to make sure that every Wildcat on campus has a spot where they can feel belonging. We also finally want to focus on student health and well-being. We're looking out for you. You are the people, everyone is the person that makes this university go round. So we want to share our ideologies and want to assure you that we are committed to building a longer table and not a higher fence.
Thank you so much to both candidates for those opening statements. Okay, so let's begin our debate tonight with the question specific to the role of the student body president, and will be asked only to our presidential candidates. This is a 2-part question. As part of your role as the student body president, effective communication with the student body is crucial. 1, how will your administration address current issues facing University of Kentucky students and engage with campus administrators to ensure effective communication and problem solving? The second part of this question is, how will you ensure the steps your administration is taking to communicate to the rest of the student body? Let's begin with Avery and Maddie. Oh, with Avery, I'm so sorry.
Hi, I've had a lot of involvement in a lot of different aspects with administration on this campus. I've served as a member of the UK Senate Core Education Committee, the Commencement Committee, and the University Appeals Board. And this has me communicating constantly with administrators all across campus, as well as deans and provosts in their respective roles. I also serve as the ANR chair, like I mentioned. With that, I have to be in constant communication with SGA and SOA advisors to assure that we're all fulfilling our respective roles and staying on top of the things that need to make this university go round. I also serve as an undergraduate teaching chemistry teaching assistant for both general and organic chemistry. And while that's not directly involved with SGA or anything particularly involving like the main administration on campus, this has allowed me to communicate extensively with leaders in the College of Arts and Sciences, which is the leading college on this campus. With this, I communicate often with department heads and ensure there is no gaps in student knowledge. All of these things tie together to assure that combining student experience, leadership, and communication with advisors to assure that we are prioritizing the value of a student body as a whole. Being a voice at the table for students is not just important, but essential to have student opinions and voices heard all across this campus. This comes with knowing when to put your foot down to assure that your people are not being overlooked, as well as when to take a step back and observe. By fostering an open and transparent dialogue to address the concerns and aspirations across all administrations, I plan to continue to advocate for student opportunity and understanding through legislative briefings so students can continue to hear what is being done on the state level for them, as well as offer opportunities for administration to observe full SGA sessions to see what is being done in our daily work. All of this will go to strengthen the ties between the student body and this administration, which is essential.
Thank you so much, Avery. Maddie?
Yes, like we said earlier, our campaign was shaped not only by students, but by actively talking to administration right now. And we were so thrilled by the support that we got from all the administration we have talked to thus far. With that being said, one of the things that me and Dalton want to start is a wellness clinic. Housed in this clinic will be Narcan that will be available to any and all students at all times. The administration absolutely loved this idea, and we have their full support on it. The next thing that we want to do to ensure that the students are well informed is the CATS Chronicle, another thing in mine and Dalton's platforms. This will be an SGA form of communication that will tell all students what's going on at all points in SGA and on campus in an easily accessible platform, because there are so many resources that SGA has that so many students don't even know about. And the CATS Chronicle will be the place to go when you want to find something such as that.
Thank you so much, Maddie. We're now going to move to rebuttals. Avery, would you like to rebuttal?
Yeah, man.
Maddie. All right. So now we'll move to our second question. Our second question has to deal with the role of the student body vice president and will be asked to our vice presidential candidates. As student body vice president, you will have an opportunity to collaborate with campus partners to improve the student experience. What initiatives do you plan to create with a campus partner in order to improve the student experience on campus? Let's begin with Dalton.
Yes, so obviously the main role of vice president over the student body is that you are actually working with the student body and the different organizations and individuals on campus in that way. Something that I really want to focus on is not advocating for one way or the other with certain groups. I just want to make sure that UK is a place with equal opportunity for everyone here, and also that everyone is available or knows what's actually available on campus. As Maddie said earlier with the Cats Chronicle, it's something I'm very passionate about in this regard to this question. Students should know what opportunities are here on campus, and I think it's really important that all students are actually aware of the different organizations, individual opportunities, little things like that that SGA is actually providing to students on campus so they can utilize to their own benefit and to also benefit those that they're surrounding themselves with.
Thank you so much, Dalton. Jackson, would you like to answer?
Yes, thank you. So one of the most important things as being student body vice president is being able to be the president of the Senate and work through creating more legislation that can help better our student body. So currently in SGA, this past year actually, there is made a caucus system where anyone can be able to come in, bring their own ideas. And currently there was a healthcare caucus made by Senator White and Senator Jones. And what they are doing is actually making it to where any person in the University of Kentucky can come forward with ideas, build a caucus, and be able to help those issues. And one of the things that I would like to see personally is a well-being caucus. Especially what has happened recently at Western Kentucky and campuses all across the nation, I think well-being is something that we need to put first by far, because if we're not here to be healthy and live our lives as happy as we can, then we really shouldn't be at college in general. And that's why one of our big things is a UHS 24/7 walk-in clinic. And we want that walk-in clinic not only to be for physical health, but also mental health. Because a hotline's amazing. The current executive team has made amazing strides towards the well-being tab on Canvas, as well as making sure that on the wildcard IDs that there's options for people to get help through hotlines and other forms. But we want people to be able to walk in no matter time of the day and have that personal communication face-to-face, because they might be going through something that we don't know about. And secondly, another thing is a big thing about getting diversity from our student body and ideas that we could not know about. I grew up in a small farm town where there was really no diversity. There wasn't any ideas to really learn about. But through serving as the Kentucky FFA State Vice President, I've been able to work in inner cities, in Louisville at high schools. I've been able to work here with at Carter G. Woodson Academy, and through those ideas, I've gained so much knowledge that I don't even know about. So if we can somehow reach out on campus, get as much from our exec team, from all the people that we really don't know about, we're gonna try to create an idea that is not just about diversity, but also equity and getting the people the help that they need. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jackson. Okay, now we will move into rebuttals. Dalton, would you like to rebuttal?
No, thank you.
Jackson?
No, thank you.
Our next set of questions surround the topic of sense of belonging at the University of Kentucky. As part of its strategic plan, the University of Kentucky outlined the goal to create greater and direct partnerships between the university and communities throughout the Commonwealth on diversity, equity, and inclusion-related matters. To this extent, how will your administration work towards developing collaborations and direct partnerships that will bring together many people in one community? Let's begin with Avery and Jackson.
All right. So through DEI, as we talked about before on the vice presidential question, so right now through the Kentucky House and Senate, there's actually a bill that is going through that would actually cause us to not be able to give out SGA DEI scholarships. It would really hurt the university as a whole. So we've been talking with James Allen Tipton, the chair of the House Education Committee. He is from my hometown, and he's been able to give us insight on kind of ways to go around that and be able to help that. And Avery actually can talk about how she's been working with minority-led student organizations to be able to work towards that.
Hi guys, yeah, in my role of A&R chair over the past year, I've met with over 200 organizations all across campus, and a lot of these are minority-led student organizations who are seeking funding that is necessary for sustaining the functioning of their organizations, and that's really crucial for those students to have a sense of belonging on this campus. I've also been in contact with various university entities like Student Contact, the VIP Center, and the Counseling Center, as students that I work with on a day-to-day basis need that help with bias-related incidents. We also are really committed to building a very diverse executive team. One thing about me and Jackson is when we went into this, we knew we did not want to have our entire cabinet picked out while we were running our campaign. We knew that we wanted to be committed to an equitable executive team hiring process where we were reaching out to minority-led student organizations all across campus who are often not represented in student government and student organizations. This was something that was super important to us so that we don't fall into that pattern of groupthink and we're not only getting individuals with diverse backgrounds, but also diverse ideologies.
And I've already been able to meet with one of the leaders of the Manners Group. If for anyone that is not familiar with that, it's the Minorities in Agricultural and Natural Resources Group. And what they said is they really see a value in not only the agricultural college, but all the colleges across is having those groups be able to interview for these positions because they have so much to add and so much to learn about SGA that they might not know about. So we want our exec team to be people we don't know from organizations we might never have heard of because we want to be as diverse as possible.
Thank you. Maddie and Dalton.
Yeah, so like I said with DEI, a big thing that me and Maddie have focused on is outreaching to all organizations on campus from 7 to 300. It's been a big priority of ours that oftentimes the smaller organizations on campus get overlooked. And most of the time, because their low numbers ranges from they just don't have the same opportunities that other organizations on campus are having. That's a big thing for me and Maddie when it comes to DEI and making a more of community feel here on campus. It's simply that students need to know what's available to them. It needs to be in a more accessible manner. We want a centralized form of communication sent out to all students about what's actually available to them on campus so that way they can navigate it that way. When you first get on campus, it's extremely hard to navigate, be involved, all the different social media platforms, websites, and try to figure out where you belong on campus. Me and Maddie want to make sure that every organization has equal opportunity to make their voice known and recruit new members in that way so that way people can find their home and a community here at UK in regards to DEI.
One thing that me and Dalton have learned through this, through talking through minority student organizations, is that halal food is not offered in the 90. And as somebody that lived in Ball Hall their freshman year, having these dietary restrictions because of religion and having to walk to Champs to get this food, that's kind of a hike. So one thing that me and Dalton do plan to advocate for is getting halal food accessible in the 90.
Thank you. All right, Avery and Jackson, would you like to rebuttal?
No, thank you.
Okay, Maddie and Dalton. All right, thank you. Our next question is, what initiatives will your administration plan to implement to support students seeking campus involvement and engagement opportunities, recognizing the positive impact it has on student retention? Let's begin with Maddie and Dalton.
Like we have stated earlier, the CATS Chronicle is truly something we are super passionate about talking about. It will be sent out to every student. Another thing we also want to do is to publicize SGA executive and legislative office hours so that you can talk to your the people that involved your voices in SGA. Another thing is we want to do outreach in all different ways. Some ideas we have is like doing donuts with student government to get more people involved and wanting to go talk to you all because there is only so much that, they will come forward. You have to go find them. You have to go listen to them. You have to go reach out to them. They sometimes don't feel comfortable enough to come to you.
Yeah, to briefly add on to that, something that we really want to focus on too is once we actually get the word out there, we want to utilize the power that people actually can have by having their voice heard here on campus. Something we want to do is designate time in SGA Senate meetings for upcoming student organization events through public comment and student caucuses, just so you have more of a platform to get your voice out. If you have your platform and don't know what to do with it, we want to be a support system for all organizations and all individuals on campus in that way as well.
Thank you. Avery and Jackson.
So a big thing that this past administration did was they started to implement full SGA, which was a really cool opportunity for our executive, legislative, and judicial branches to collaborate and hear what each individual branch was up to. This was a really cool program, and we hope over the next year that we can continue to make strides towards that so every branch of SGA is fully involved in what each other is doing. Because with that is when we can start outreach into the general community, because in the overall student population, once we know everything about all the resources SGA has to offer. Because even me being involved in SGA for 3 years, there are still things I find out about from the executive and legislative branch in itself that I really had no clue about before, and you can't really inform people about those if you're not aware of them yourself. Another big thing we want to do is revamp the LDP program. Me and Jackson are both graduates ourselves, and I don't know if anybody here was a part of that program, but it is a really cool way for students who are new to this university to get involved in leadership and be directly accessible and involved in a lot of different big campus organizations. Me, I actually got to shadow the SGA A&R chair and the student body president my freshman year, and this played a huge role in the future role I would soon have in SGA. With that, we also want to start to revamp a sophomore leadership program because freshman year, as I'm sure we're all aware of, can be a bit overwhelming. And with a lot of the things that are new to us, arriving at this new campus, living on our own, being on our own for the very first time, it's hard to know what resources are available to us and what opportunities there are for leadership on this campus. So we want to revamp start a sophomore program so students who didn't get involved their freshman year have the opportunity during their sophomore year.
Okay, Maddie and Dalton, would you like to rebuttal? Avery and Jackson.
So something I just wanted to add on to that was we also want to work and get a better kind of relationship with the Student Activities Board and be able to kind of align SGA's values and what we're trying to accomplish with the activities that we put out to the public. This can involve using better funding for events that people on campus really want to attend, because I know I once attended a Student Activities Board meeting and it was raining and it wasn't as good of a turnout as I know both parties would have wished. And we want to start doing that by backing up their homecoming traditions. I know when I was growing up, my mom was telling me about the parade here. She was telling me about everything in homecoming week. And it was a really great experience that I wanted to be involved in. And I know that next year we won't be able to get homecoming running because it's going to be a long process. But I'm hoping in 20 years when my nieces and nephews come, when everyone else's relatives come, we have something to come back and kind of be proud to. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, our next topic of tonight's debate surrounds student engagement. Our question to you is this. UK SGA represents all undergraduate, graduate, professional, and postdoctoral students enrolled at the university. What is your administration's plan to understand and support the needs of our graduate, professional, and postdoctoral students? Let's begin with Avery and Jackson.
So one of the things that we really are really passionate about is our healthcare, and especially for childcare. So a lot of graduate students that are in MBA program, School of Dentistry, pharmacy, law school, they might come back after going out into the workforce for a little bit, and sometimes they have dependents. And through SGA and the Academic and Student Affairs Committee, we can only give them $1,500. That's the max that we can give. And many times when we're going through and looking at their kind of applications, all we get's a birth certificate and maybe a 5-sentence thing on why they need the money. And I feel like we can do a lot more for them because that doesn't really go that far with formula, diapers, and a daycare. So we're trying to, again, we won't be able to do it this one year, but we want to try to set the groundwork to eventually have a daycare on campus so that students have that opportunity where if I'm going to the Rosenberg College of Law, I can drop off my kid, have a reduced cost, have some type of discount so that I can still focus on my education and not have to worry about everything outside of it.
Additionally, we know there's a huge problem with food insecurity for grad students. Grad students work long hours, whether that's in the classroom or in their off-campus jobs. And we want to make sure when they do come back to campus, they have options to eat food, and all the on-campus food options aren't closed because, again, that is a huge problem facing our graduate students. Additionally, we want to continue the work of past administrations to incorporate our graduate student council into the Senate in any way that we can, so we have a more equal representation between undergraduate and graduate populations.
Thank you. Maddie and Dalton.
Obviously, a big portion of this and having a lasting impact on graduate students is outreach. And so we are very excited to say that we already have made connections in every college offered here on campus, whether it be from an MBA program to the law school to the med school to literally all of them. So that's super exciting. But the biggest part is making them aware of the resources offered on campus. Another initiative that me and Dalton have been talking with Campus Kitchen about is, I'm not sure if you all knew about this, but they have a Farm to Fork program. This is where they will make free meals for students offered 11 to 1 on Wednesdays. We talked to them and we plan to collaborate with them so that this program could be offered on Fridays so that students that are experiencing food insecurity can have a warm meal to take home with them. And so that is something we are very passionate about as well.
Yeah, and just to add on to that, a big point that we hit with the graduate students and PhD students is that we can have as many resources on campus as possible for them, but if their first instinct is to worry about where they can park when they are actually on campus after their block classes end, then the resources simply don't make a difference at that point. Something that me and Maddie are strongly going to advocate for with administrators is to try to get free available parking after 3:30 for all students. We believe that will help with organization meetings, exam time meetings that come at those odd hours. It'll be good for the PhD graduate students as well to actually be able to come to campus, study at Willie T, do small things like that so they actually get to feel the community of what UK is, and they can reap these benefits that we've been talking about so far.
Thank you so much. Avery and Jackson, would you like to rebuttal?
Hi, yeah, I just wanted to add with our UHS services and the 24/7 walk-in clinic we're hoping to implement, we know this can be heavily utilized by our graduate student population as well. On top of all the commitments that come with being a graduate school student, we don't want your health to be something you have to worry about, and so we want to give you guys 24/7 access to healthcare, both mental and physical resources in that aspect.
Thank you. Maddie and Dalton, would you like to rebuttal?
The only thing that we also want to do is increase the budget for graduate students. I'm not sure if you all were aware, but the NAPLEX just actually looked into a fee increase this year, which is the licensing exam for pharmacists. We also want to increase the budget for graduate school licensing exams, as well as prep for graduate students, as well as undergrads that are looking to go into those fields in the future.
Okay. Thank you. Our next question. UK SGA strives to support the holistic student college experience. What barriers do you believe prevents students from getting involved, and how might your administration address those barriers? Let's begin with Maddie and Dalton.
Yeah, so like I said before, I truly believe that UK has all the opportunities and communities to help all students. Just most students don't know where to start. They don't know where they should assert themselves, and most are coming from out of state, not knowing who they are themselves, much less what groups they belong to in college. Me and Maddie just want to make it super accessible and reach out to students and actually meet students where they are, especially when you get onto campus, so you don't have that lost feeling and it takes you 2 or 3 years of missing your college experience and not being able to find the group that you really belong to here at UK.
We believe this goes hand in hand with our platform of advocating for parking restrictions to be eliminated after 3:30, because we have talked to multiple different students that said that they would be more involved on campus if they could park a little bit closer. For the commuters, for those that already do live on campus, we believe that this will help, most definitely help with student engagement and being involved on campus.
Thank you so much. Avery and Jackson.
A big part of our platform was making sure that there was an open line of communication between us and the student body. It's hard to know what your student leaders are up to when you don't know how to access them, so we're giving everyone 24/7 access to our personal phone numbers, because when there's someone in charge of your university, you want to make sure that you can access them and ask the questions that you need answered. Along with that, we're going to be establishing a constant presence in the SGA office. As Maddie and Dalton mentioned earlier, both the executive and legislative branch host weekly office hours, which is a great opportunity for students to come in and ask questions about the resources that SGA can offer them. But not only that, it gives us the opportunity to outreach into the student body. In that hour, we have the opportunity to go around campus if we need to. We can put signs up around campus for certain SGA initiatives. And this opportunity and this outreach gives us a lot of the time to meet students where they are, because we know that we can't expect students to always come to us. We know that. We know for a lot of people in this room, you guys might not have known what SGA was your freshman year. And we know that we have to meet people where they are. We can't only give them a seat at the table, we have to lead them to the table, and we have to make sure that they have the voice and the time to make sure that they feel like they can be heard.
And we also know that one of the leading things for a lot of people not being able to get involved is after class they have to go work jobs, and especially jobs on campus. So I know that I have a friend that works at the JC, and sometimes he'll have to leave class at 4, go to the JC from 7 to midnight, and that causes an issue for him. So one of the biggest things is we want to try to push and advocate for higher minimum wage. We know we're not going to come in immediately and put the minimum wage for students at $20 and fix the world immediately, but we want to advocate for it and make those small footsteps possible so that we can make students' daily lives better. Because if we can help one student ensure that they don't have to go from 8 hours of class to then 8 hours of work just to be able to stay in school, then we did something amazing for that student.
Thank you so much. Maddie and Dalton, would you like to rebuttal?
No, thank you.
Avery and Jackson, would you like to rebuttal?
No, thank you.
Okay. Our next topic of tonight's debate involves student support. The mental health and well-being of students is top priority. What do you see as the best way to support student mental health, and how will you go about creating additional mental health resources like the new Canvas tab implemented by SGA this year and promoting current resources on campus? Let's start with Avery and Jackson.
So, like we said earlier, student health and well-being, especially mental health, is something that's very important to us. From someone that deals with anxiety and having to kind of think about those different things, especially during midterms, finals week, it can be really difficult for students. So we want to make sure that we give students a place where they can go and have that place. We know that across the massage chairs across campus, there's a great place for people to go relax, but we also want to try to recreate it with our 24/7 walk-in clinic. I know that at Ag North, there's a lounge where people can go in, and it's a quiet room, the lights are off, and it's a place where you can go in, sit, and relax. And we want to try to put more of those around campus, even if it's small, because it might take up a classroom in the College of Gatton, but it might save a life. And that's why we want to try to implement that for our students.
Yeah, going off of that, we give major props to the current administration for their current health and well-being tab on campus, and we're going to continue to keep that updating because that's such an incredible resource for students. And like we mentioned, the 24/7 walk-in clinic, we keep bringing that up because as a pre-med student, this is something I'm particularly passionate about. I've done a lot of research about this at other schools, including UT Austin, Clemson, Michigan State, and starting with something as simple as a 24/7 telehealth availability line, we know that we can make mental and physical treatment so much more accessible to students. And again, like he mentioned, with events that recently occurred at WKU, we want to make sure you guys have someone to talk to whenever you need. And someone to talk to is the bare minimum of what a college campus can offer their students. And I think this will be an incredible way to also incorporate our medical and psychology PhD students into our campus community with clinical hours and resident experience. And it will be an incredible resource for our graduate students as well.
Thank you. Maddie and Dalton?
One thing that we want to advocate for is to implement QPR suicide prevention training in all UK 101 and Honors 140 classes. When we first sat down and made our platforms, we chose to put this in here because we believe that all Wildcats should be equipped with the tools necessary to save someone's life if given that opportunity. Another thing that goes hand in hand with the mental health aspect and well-being of the students on UK's campus is our wellness clinic. This clinic will be in collaboration with the College of Social Work and the College of Public Health and any other appropriate college. But like we said, this clinic will have Narcan available in it at all times, as well as having all the resources that UK already invests so much money, time, and energy and staff into, all in one centralized location for easier student access.
Yes, and me and Maddie also acknowledge that mental health is a very big issue right now. And oftentimes, students our age are often afraid to go seek help, especially professional help that would be offered here on campus. That's why we want to emphasize more of this QPR training, so that way communities, friendships are actually more able to help out people that are struggling with these battles. And just a more sense of community on campus, so that way you can go just somewhere on campus normally and be able to work out your mental health issues with people that you just know from your community and people you're involved with on campus through that regard as well.
Thank you so much. Avery and Jackson, would you like to rebuttal?
Yeah, I just wanted to add another part of our platforms was we were going to advocate for increased DRC availability. There's a lot of stress and anxiety that comes with being a college student, and not having access to an equitable exam environment should not be one of those things. So with increased student populations, we're going to continue to advocate for the DRC to have the availability to accommodate all of these students for their exam needs.
Thank you so much. Maddie and Dalton, would you like to rebuttal?
No, thank you.
Okay. Our next question is, over the past couple of years, SGA has heard of rising concerns with affordability, including student wages, housing, parking, and food. What is something your administration could strive to do to increase affordability for students while at the University of Kentucky? We're going to start with Maddie and Dalton.
Yes, so to begin with that, something that me and Maddie really want to focus on is that every opportunity that students want at UK should be available to them regardless of the financial opportunities. And it's just a simple matter of communication between the people that are actually administrating that role and deciding what budgets go where with that. and how much money is actually available for students, if they're even aware that money is available to help them with their exams for graduate schools, their actual graduate program exams as well. Something that me and Maddie want to do is to actually expand the budget for graduate testing on campus. Last year, it was $4,000, and that was gone by November. So obviously, it's a big need on campus, even though a lot of students didn't know about it. But still, it's something that's very needed, and it's something that students should have easy access to, because at the end of the day, sending kids to the graduate program that they want to go to should be an ultimate goal at UK, to prepare kids for the career the best way possible.
Another thing that the Cats Chronicle will do is just basically lay these resources that are available to all students in one place, because on average, most of you all are paying $60,000 to go to UK, and there are so many resources that you probably haven't even heard of, and this is why the Cats Chronicle is so needed, and me and Dalton hope to get to implement this.
Thank you. Avery and Jackson?
Yes, so something that we just want to reiterate is how we're going to be pushing to make sure that the minimum wage for students can be higher. Because we know with inflation and everything that's continuing to be built on campus, we know the Ag College will be built in the next year, and they're still renovating a lot of main campus. So we really don't know the feasibility of being able to just completely cut costs. But we do, as Bertram and Duff said, try to alleviate some of the opportunities that people have. Through ASA, there's actually grants where you can get your professional test paid for the MCAT, for the LSAT, and they will pay you. They also will pay for professional development trips. If there's a conference you want to attend, they will pay for it up to a certain amount. And we also want to continue to push for that minimum wage so that students can pay for their own college and not have to worry about attending school.
Additionally, with that, you guys pay a lot of student fees that you don't know a lot about, so we're going to continue to advocate for a student fee breakdown and we're going to put that on high traffic student platforms so you guys can clearly see where your money is going and what it's being spent for, because again, you guys pay a lot of money. We want to make sure you guys are getting the most bang for your buck in every single aspect of this campus. And like Jackson mentioned, the ASA grants and A&R grants for professional development and organizations are incredible opportunities for you to be able to cut the costs that come with being a college student and still participate in the extra opportunities and resources that your organizations and this college offers you, and not having to pay anything out of pocket.
Thank you. Maddie and Dalton, would you like to rebuttal?
Me and Maddie also realized that a budget is not something where new money comes in out of thin air, where you can put more money towards these graduate exams and things like that. A budget's a flexible thing where money's going to have to be taken from one area and put into another if we decide to. Me and Maddie both recognize that it is not our job to solely choose how this money is spent and where it is going based on what we've heard from students. It's to actually just listen to students and advocate for whoever we feel needs the things on campus in that regard. So we just want to make it a point that we will advocate for students to the best of our ability and not make sole decisions based on our own opinions. Our sole goal is to listen to the people that we are serving and make their needs and wants on campus come to fruition in different ways.
Thank you. Avery and Jackson, would you like to rebuttal? Okay. For our last question involving student support, with the rising cost of food, food insecurity has become a prominent issue facing many students. How will your administration take proactive steps, or what initiatives will your administration want to explore to address food insecurity among our students? Let's begin with Avery and Jackson.
Like we said, a big part of our platform is being able to expand on-campus food option hours. So for people who are on-campus workers or graduate students, they always have access and somewhere to eat. We think this is incredibly important, and we don't want anybody on this campus to struggle with the aspect of food insecurity.
And something to add is that where a lot of people, the biggest time, of course, money is a problem for food insecurity, but it's also just being able to find that food and those options. So I know, as I said earlier, JC workers that might not get off till midnight, the 90s closed, Wildcat Pantry's closed, and there's really not many options unless they want to walk into Lexington, especially for freshmen without cars, freshmen without transportation. So our goal is to be able to implement more options on the campus where people can find food readily available, whether that be a Wildcat Pantry in more places on campus. Because as you go farther away from Willie T and those kind of places, there's really not many options on Central Campus besides Einstein Bros. So we want to try to make sure that everyone has those options throughout campus so that it's not just a money issue and it's not just a time issue.
Thank you. Maddie and Dalton.
Through talking with multiple different students throughout the campaign process, we did learn about how big of an issue food insecurity is, and this is why we plan to collaborate with Campus Kitchen with their program Farm to Fork. It's already offered on Wednesdays. We want to expand it by giving them a little more funding because it's a free meal. It's already available to students, expanding, and it's helping another organization on campus. We are so excited to maybe have the opportunity to do that, and I think it needs to be done, especially on Fridays, because once again, for students that live on campus as well as off, they have an opportunity to get a free meal, and which will help with the food insecurity.
Thank you. Avery and Jackson, would you like to rebuttal?
Yes, and also being an agricultural major, over on Ag Campus there are 6 greenhouses that are fully functioning. So there is potential to be able to work with different clubs and organizations on the agricultural campus to be able to grow maybe even if it's not that many bushels of produce, but still be able to have it and have that option to maybe that could then be sent to Campus Kitchen and be able to help them as well.
Thank you. Maddie and Dalton, would you like to rebuttal?
No, thank you.
Okay. For our final topic of debate night, we will address student government. The university updates their strategic plan every 5 years. How do you see UK SGA supporting the remainder of the University of Kentucky's current strategic plan? Let's start with Maddie and Dalton.
I think the first thing we would want to address is the great work that UK is doing right now and expanding on that, collaborating with more organizations on campus, listening to the graduate students, listening to the undergraduate students, listening to the professional students, listening to all of those students and making it so that it's an environment that they want to be in the next 5 years, and making sure that whoever is elected has a lasting impact on campus, whether it being through collaboration with Campus Kitchen, whether it be implementing QPR suicide prevention training, the CATS Chronicle, making sure that all the resources that are already available to students are growing, because as we all know, UK's campus is growing with an incoming freshman class each year that is astronomically larger than the last.
Yeah, from somebody that grew up in Somerset, Kentucky, just about an hour south of here, I have got to see the growth of UK throughout my life and how it actually has changed from the time I was born, being a UK fan, to the time now that I'm actually a student here. UK has become more and more a place that's welcoming, that has opportunities. UK has become a place where you can come here and whatever you have your mind set on, you can make it happen. And that's what UK should be, and it's what me and Maddie want to make that continue to be through community aspects and opportunity aspects where you can do whatever you put your mind to, it's available here at UK for you, and me and Maddie want to be there to back you for that.
Thank you so much. Avery and Jackson.
A huge part of being involved in SGA is not just being a leader in the SGA office, but being a leader all across campus. Through A&R, I have helped allocate over $300,000 in student funding to over 200 student organizations on the undergraduate and graduate student campus. But being a TA, being an outreach coordinator for KESM, serving on the University Appeals Board, I've had the opportunity to integrate myself into this campus community, and this has made me all the more passionate about getting everyday students involved in the work that SGA is doing. Through all these positions, I've learned the value of open communication and leading with actions and not just words, and being transparent in the good and the bad conversations. Like I said, the more integrated you are into this campus, as Jackson and I are, the more you want to give back to it. Our differing perspectives in all areas of campus, Jackson's focused in the College of Ag and SGA, mine in SGA, UAB, and the College of Arts and Sciences, have brought us a unique variety of student ideas and perspectives, and we will use that to implement change that will impact the widest net of students in and outside of the SGA office.
And I think one of the most important things when talking about the strategic plan and carrying out the former administration, it's all about how you transition. I feel like in a lot of leadership teams in a lot of different organizations, the biggest place people lose information and people lose momentum is in the transition, because you basically have about maybe a month, maybe a couple weeks to be able to transition that information to the next team. So our goal is, if we were to be elected, to immediately start that transition and have as much time, because as we said in a lot of our goals, we know that a lot of things can't be done in a year, but a lot of things can be done in 20 years. So we want to be able to take what the previous administration has been working on to better this community and then better it even further into the future with ourselves.
Thank you. Maddie and Dalton, would you like to rebuttal?
Yes, this is something that me and Dalton would like to highlight, is that we both have experience transitioning to and from leadership roles already. And by the time that UK class of 2028 gets here to campus, we want to have already implemented some new initiatives and be ready to best serve them. Yeah.
Avery and Jackson, would you like to rebuttal?
No, thank you.
Okay. Finally, what do you believe are the greatest strengths of student government? And how does your administration plan to leverage these strengths to capitalize on opportunities for improvements within student government? We're going to begin with Avery and Jackson.
So I think that one of the biggest strengths of student government is the people that's within it. So student government, even though we are elected currently senators and people are elected president, vice president, we aren't serving our position and we aren't doing it for the title. We're serving the people that are behind us, the people that voted for us, and the people that backed us up. So what we want to do is get as many people involved on campus as possible, because we know that if it were to be us two, we're not going to be the ones creating everything. We're not going to be the ones running everything, because we're just trying to work for the other people that elected us in. So one of our main goals is to have as many open sessions as possible, open up SGA, have people know that you can come to Senate, full Senate on Wednesday at 7, and that is an option for tomorrow night. And we want people to have that knowledge, because it's going to be their opinions and their voices that matter much more than ours will.
The titles that come with being involved in SGA mean nothing if it is not occupied by someone who's completely and holistically involved in the work that they're doing. Being a physical presence in the SGA office is just a small part of the work that SGA leaders do here. And showing up through events and meetings, sure, is a big part of it, but the emotional and mental capacity you invest in these positions is something that can truly never be quantified or summed up in a few words on your resume. I've gotten a small taste of this the past couple of weeks on the campaign trail, and I can say, unastoundingly, that this is something that we're beyond ready for. Doing this and being this is not something that's just going to be a title. It's going to be something that's who we are. This is more than just a check mark on a resume, and it's knowing that I'm making a difference, not because of the praise I receive from others, but because of the way that we watch people come to feel about themselves and the leaders that they are becoming. We plan on being more than just titles to this university, more than a bullet point to this school. We plan on being admirable leaders, kind friends, and most importantly, good human beings, because that's what this university needs in their leaders.
Thank you. Okay, Maddie and Dalton.
One of the best parts about UKSJ is all the resources they have to offer. There are resources for every student on UK's campus, whether it being an undergraduate, graduate, or professional student. Making these resources accessible to all students is huge in ensuring the success of the students on campus, as well as keeping SGA involved in helping uplift the lives of on campus.
Okay. Avery and Jackson, would you like to rebuttal?
No, thank you.
Maddie and Dalton, would you like to rebuttal? All right. Well, that concludes the questions that we have scheduled for tonight. As we conclude tonight's debate, we will allow each ticket to give their 2-minute closing statement. We're going to start with Maddie and Dalton.
Hi guys. Tonight you have heard about Team Duff Bertram's dreams, ideas, promises, and qualifications for these roles. If you take anything away from this debate, please remember this. We have poured our heart and soul into the development of innovative and original ideas for the university's future, and we are the candidates who will continue to pour that energy into advocating for you over the next year. We have proven that we are here to listen to every student on campus, and we are fully prepared to get to work as soon as we take office.
Maddie and I are invested in UK and in the student experience. We have both been given tremendous opportunities to grow into better leaders in our first 3 years here on campus. Now we have proven our leadership skills and are prepared to spend our final year on this campus paying it forward. We have both achieved some of our wildest dreams already because UK has made them possible. We are so excited to take these offices and to empower other students to have the best possible experience at UK as well.
Thank you again to our moderator, UKSGA, and all the students here watching tonight. Team Duff Bertram will put our dedicated leadership and bold vision to work for you and the future of our university.
And lastly, to learn more about us and our campaign, check out our Instagram page at duff.bertram. And or come see us for a button, sticker, or just to talk. We would love to talk to any of you here tonight. We would be honored to have your first preference vote next Monday and Tuesday on BB Involved. Thank you.
Okay, Avery and Jackson.
To close out this night, we once again want to say thank you. This evening has been such an incredible celebration of student involvement and has presented so many amazing ideas that we know will shape this campus for years to come. We can say with confidence that no matter which way this election goes, the student body will be in incredible hands.
Tonight, you've had the opportunity to listen to our pillars, hear about the changes we want to make on this campus, and have gotten to know us a lot more than just boxes on an Instagram account. If nothing else, we hope tonight we've shown you that we're just real people, not individuals seeking titles that come with these offices, but human beings who want to see positive change on this campus that we call home. We know we're not going to tear down Whitehall and replace it with a Taco Bell, get rid of parking permits, or fund every graduate school exam in the next year, but we do know what we believe in, and that is the best plan to produce real and tangible change. We have a plan so that 20 years from now, our family members, my nieces and my nephews, can come here and make an impact that will extend long past the time that we're here at this university.
We don't need these offices to keep making a difference on this campus. With our extensive leadership and involvement, both in SGA and out of it, we know that our experience and work speaks for itself. It's not about the title of president and vice president to us. It's knowing that we have the opportunity to impact as many students as we can. While these positions do give us the incredible platform to make change, if we aren't elected, we promise we won't stop doing the work we're already doing to help others. That drive to help is something that's ingrained in both of us, and it's not something that will just go away should we not have that title. We come to you tonight not as candidates, but as your peers, asking for you to entrust us with this university that we all call home. This university functions best when all of its components, students, leaders, and administration alike, are actively participating in shaping the course of its future. We are not just asking for your vote, but your partnership, because at the end of the day, it's not about checking off a list of accomplishments or adding a bullet point to our resume, but knowing that we did everything in our power to help people, and that's something that is and always will be so much bigger than the two of us here on this stage. Here's to a hopeful future of making this a place we're proud to call home together. Thank you all, and as always, go Cats.
Okay. With that, I also would like to end or conclude tonight's debate with a huge thank you to Olivia Stoltz,
I was going to thank you.
who planned tonight's debate.
You beat me to it. You beat me to it.
I also want to make sure we give a huge thank you to both Isaiah and Nikki, the advisors, who did a lot of work to making tonight come together. And I feel like I have to say a huge thank you to our current SGA president and vice president, Lizzie and Jason. I want to also thank our candidates. You did a phenomenal job. Thank you so much for your thoughtful responses and insight tonight. Thank you to the audience. This was a large crowd. It's a huge crowd. I love it. So, as we end tonight's debate, I also want to make sure that we give a quick reminder. The student body elections are February 26th and 27th. You may vote on BB Involved. And outside of that, I pray and hope that you all have a great night, and thank you for all that you've done tonight.
One more thank you for Dr. Clement Montgomery for being our moderator. Don't forget to vote on Monday and Tuesday next week. Y'all have a great night.